Hey guys, it's Jozy here, back again in another video. Now, in this video, I just want to go through a few key points that helped me reach 50K per month with my agency in under 90 days. And the reason that is just I wanted to think, if I was going back and I had to speak to that Josiah on the other side of the phone or the screen, what would I tell him now to help him get to that 50K per month as soon as possible? Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Josiah. I scaled my own agency. Now I have a consulting firm helping other agencies implement outbound acquisition system using AI to book 2, 4, 5, 6 calls each and every single day so they can scale to that 10, 20, 30K per month. And when I do these videos, just sharing my thoughts, my journey, documenting the whole process so you guys can take what I've been learning, implement into your business and start seeing some crazy results. Okay, now getting first into it, the first thing I want to talk about is just focus, right? A lot of people right now in this agency game, they are getting so sidetracked into the new thing, whether that be starting your growth priming business, your AI business, your AI agency, having 7 offers, things like that. And what's happening to them is just they're not having the ability to just lock down and get very good at just one thing. And you need to be a master, especially in this day and age, at one single thing for you to charge more than everyone else. For example, when I first started out with my agency, I started on Facebook outreach, and I didn't like that. Then I went to email, then I went to Instagram, but not when I actually started focusing just on email outbound alone did I start scaling my agency. And just to give you an incline from, let's say, the year 2023, the only thing I done for a whole year was just email outbound, right? I was setting up inboxes. At one point, I was managing like 2,000 inboxes at one point for around 40 clients. So I knew exactly how to use email. I knew like the back of my hand, I could actually say, hey, I've actually mastered this one outbound method, which was email outbound. It was the only thing I knew how to do. Okay, and what allowed me to do is allow me to literally be as efficient and get leverage for every time I spend an hour on email. I'll get five appointments out, 10 appointments, 30 appointments out, because I was very skilled at just that one thing. And also allow me to just build the foundation of all the other things, like using, let's say, DMs, anything like ads or anything marketing related, because I had the foundation in my business by focusing on one thing. And also allowed me to charge more, because every time I knew how to use it, I get more confident in the sales calls. And also I knew who it would work for and who it wouldn't work for, because I had that time to just test it, to just go in and refine it. So what I want you to do, and I know everyone says stick to one, you stick to one each, but it's so crucial that you stick to one key avatar and use one key delivery method and one key sales process, just to keep things simple so you can really optimize the fuck out of that one process and just keep tweaking, testing it, tweaking, optimizing it so it just becomes efficient, right? Do not get sidetracked. Do not try start 3, 4, 5 agencies at one time, or let's say 5, 6 services at one time, because what that does is, especially as you add on more services, it takes longer for you to be good at all of them. So you're going to be mediocre at all of them at the same time. And B is actually going to start eating into your profit margins. And no one wants to tell you this, but a lot of, let's say, full service agencies that offer SEO, ads, everything like that, the profit margins around 10 to 20%. And I speak to them every single day, and have a profit margin of 10 to 20%. So they may be making like 100K per month in terms of revenue, but the founder only takes on 5 to, let's say, 20K of that each and every single month, right? And just running them thin margins, I just don't feel like it's a scalable way to grow an agency. I prefer you having making 50K per month, 80% profit margins, and taking majority of it home and have it all systematized, which you can do, right? Having a business like that is 100% achievable, but it just comes by having just that one focus on that one target audience, that one niche. So you know exactly your delivery system. If not, it's the most important thing of the whole agency, because it gets people to stay on with you again and again and again. And if you have a delivery system that doesn't match what the client needs in order for them to get results, and it's not very simple, it's going to be very hard for you to retain the clients for more than 2 to 3 months. That's why a lot of agencies cannot retain the clients for more than 3 months. They just churn clients, right? So you want to get dialed in, focus on one niche, one offer, and one delivery mechanism, so you can become the best out of the best. Okay, so get the focus dialed in. The next thing I want to talk about is volume negates luck. Now, I heard this from Alex Jozy, and how I think about it is like a business. Imagine like business like a train that's just still, right? And it requires a lot of energy to get the train moving, to get like all the moving parts going, to get the train rolling and just picking up pace. The same thing with your business, right? It takes at the start, it takes so much energy for you to get your first client, for you to get your first sales calls, that a lot of people, they want to shortcut it by finding a new strategy. But if you just do more, the quickest way to get past that hump is just to do more than everyone else, right? So what I do is do 10x more in terms of volume of outreach, 10x more in terms of testing, right? And then just keep at it. Because if you just do more than everyone else in terms of testing, number one, and volume, you're gonna have such an advantage when it comes to scaling. You can see what works and what doesn't fairly quickly, right? And also when it comes to like, and I know a lot of people may be saying, oh, my market's too big, or perhaps I don't wanna be spamming a lot of my market. The thing you have to understand, after 90 days, your market doesn't even know that you outreached them, right? No one remembers an outreach unless you've pissed someone the fuck off. Then they're gonna remember that. But if you've outreached someone, let's say 90 days ago, and it's been 90 days, they will forget that you've outreached them. Like they will honestly forget. So guys, do not be afraid of testing and doing more volume than everyone else, just so you can get data and just so you can get your first client. Because I promise you, right, you are not doing enough. And I say this because a client will come to me and be like, hey, Josiah, I remember this client coming to me, he's like, hey, Josiah, I want to scale to a point that I'm getting 10 appointments per day, okay? And I'm like, that's fine. You can definitely scale to 10 appointments per day. And she was like, okay, how many outreaches should I be doing on, let's say, LinkedIn, for example? I said probably like 1,000 per day, all personalized. And they're like, what? 1,000 per day? How the flip am I going to do? That's so much. And I'm like, yeah, you want big goals. You want, let's say, 300 appointments a month. You should be prepared to do 1,000 outreaches a day, or building a system that can actually give you 1,000 outreaches a day. If not, don't have that as a goal. And a lot of people don't even know what volume looks like, right? And this amazed me because I remember I was actually in a mastermind once and I was like, oh my God, these guys are getting so many results. How many emails are they sending? And I was like, bro, these guys are sending like 5,000 emails per day. Per day. That's how many people send in a month. People are doing it per day. And I'm not saying spamming the whole market, of course. At that point, spamming was, or volume was just the game. But that just gave me an incline. I'm like, whoa, like there is levels to this shit. There's absolutely levels to this shit. Like you may be thinking you're good because you're spending $100 a day on ad, but there's people spending 100K a day on ads, right? So don't be afraid of increasing the volume. And this is outreach is the most simplest thing you could do. It just do what you're doing right now, then add to get more accounts, get more sellers to help you, buy more email inboxes, and just do more. Okay, just do more. Get to a point that you're actually doing more. Because even if you have rubbish stats, because you put in so much volume for it, you're going to get your first 1 or 2 clients. Then you're going to start refining it. Then you're going to get better. Then you're going to optimize it. And I look at volume in 2 ways. I look at volume also in the volume side in terms of just quantity, but I also look at this quality, right? How can we make the lead list better? How can we improve the offer? How can we make the copyright better? How can we test different copies? Just testing to make sure once you do find it, when you've cracked the code when it comes to getting the right testing, the right targeting, and getting the right volume. Getting appointments is just easy. It's just a byproduct of that. So make sure that you're doing 10x more than you usually think you do, because honestly, it requires so much work in order for you to get to that 50K per month, 100K per month, that you not doing enough volume is just shooting yourself in the foot. And I recommend, if you're watching this video, look at your KPIs, look at your stats, and ask myself, how can I do 10x more? Because that's where the answers lie. Okay, so that's one. Now, as you're doing more volume, you want to understand that you want to create flow, which is the third one, create flow and add friction. Now, I heard this again from Alex Emozi, and I heard it as well from Cole Gordon. And this is a very good point, because a lot of people in the entrepreneurship journey, especially when they start out, right, they overthink a lot of things. They're like, oh, I don't want to offer this because I can't do this. I don't want to target this company because I don't like them, X, Y, Z, right? Where I just remove all that crap that's just in your head. Just remove it. And just say, hey, my first goal is to sign a client. And this might mean getting a client for $1,000, even though you know you should be charging $3,000, because that was just how much they could do. That is being flexible in terms of how much you could actually charge the client, right? Because a lot of people do not want to create flow into their business, getting money into their business. They want to add friction in the forefront, like stopping people from buying, making it hard, saying, we're only going to target this, we're going to target this, right? By the start of your agents, you want to create flow. You want to have as much inflow, as much traffic, as much basically business people that actually know you into your business before you then started adding friction, right? And just to give an incline of what friction looks like, okay? In terms of friction could be, let's say at first when you try to create flow, you make your offer really bold, right? You say, oh my God, I can offer them 100 appointments in, let's say, 6 months. And you know, it's a very bold offer, right? You know that people are going to jump on that, or you say pay per results because, you know, people want that, right? Then you're going to get so much flow into the business. You're then going to sign clients. Some clients are going to be good clients, some are going to be bad clients. And then you realize, okay, I realize that I like working with, let's say, insurance companies because I know I can help them out and I know they're very easy to work with. Okay, now let me only target insurance companies, or let me target a subsection of insurance companies. They're the one that are making 2 million or 3 million, because I know exactly they're the people that I can target, right? So that's, again, adding a friction, because you've then increased the barrier of entry into your service, right? Another friction could be, I know I'm charging people, let's say, 1K per month, but I feel like I deserve 2K because the amount of money they're making from this, like 1K is cheap. So then you increase your price, adding friction. Okay. But first thing, you only want to add friction once you start getting enough flow, right? Because once you're at capacity, you're like, oh my God, even if I don't sign a client today, I'm good. Like the bills are paid, things are good, right? So that's when you can start creating friction into your service. And they're a very good client that shares our client Vimal. So one of our clients, Vimal, he works right now with a lot, he's multi-niche at the moment. He makes a lot of clients, but we got him to a point when he came to us that he was only targeting, let's say, agencies or coaches. And he was doing around 8K per month, charging 1 to 3K per month for his clients. And I just told him, just create flow. Just get as many clients in as possible. And as he started getting the second or third clients, we started increasing his prices, right? Because he was doing way more. He started adding like full service. So he went from charging, let's say 2, 3K per month, charging 7K per month. And that allowed him quickly to go from 8K to 70K per month. And I was like, Mom, you can do way more than that because clients were literally making hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. So I was like, okay, let's look at everything else and let's see how you can even increase the business even further. So the first thing we looked at is adding friction to his price. So we went from 7K a month to 12K a month and get into that, let's say 5-figure month of a 5-figure month deal that you're actually charging people makes life so much easier. Because if you're charging someone $10,000 per month, in order for you to get to 100K, you only need 10 people. And it's a lot easier to find 10 people that can afford 10K per month than, let's say, 100,000 people that can afford 1K per month, right? Or 100 people that can afford 1K per month, honestly. And it's so much easier to manage them, okay? And build teams and infrastructures around them. So that's what we've done. We just increased his price from around 7K per month to 12K per month. And then shortly after, I added some more acquisition systems for him to book up to, I think one day he booked like 25 appointments, which is absolutely crazy. And we got him to a point now that he's making 175K per month, right? And he started with us at 8K per month using the exact same thing. So now 100%, at first, create flow. Get your case studies in. Just create as much flow into the business. It's going to be the hardest times of your life or of your entrepreneurship life. But once you have flow in the business, that's when things are going to start going easy. Appointments in your calendar. You know exactly what you're doing. Then that's when you can then add friction to then increase the barrier of entry of people coming into the business, which honestly, you're going to love at that point, right? But do not overthink the flow at first. And that's the main thing I'm trying to add here now. Do not overthink the flow at first because the flow is the lifeblood of business. Getting clients in. Don't think about your logo. Don't think about your website. Like, don't think about that, right? Think about how can I get clients into the business? And that's one of the main things you want to focus on, especially as you get that 15, 20K per month. Okay? Now, the next thing is using market feedback for your delivery system and your offer system, okay? So what a lot of people do is they make an offer, they use the delivery system, but they never look back and ask themselves, okay, what can I do with this new data? So let's say you've signed a client, let's say they've gone through your offer, let's say they've gone through your delivery system, and let's say it's been 3 months and you've absolutely killed it for them. Okay, now you absolutely killed it for them. Okay, so what does that mean? That means A, you validated a happy client, right? And then B, it looks like, hey, that offer that got him got the right people in. So I'll ask myself, what about this offer? What about the way that we delivered actually got them the results? Let's say for delivery, let's say you run outreach and let's say you do LinkedIn. Perhaps the way that you approach people on LinkedIn, perhaps the offer they use to get your clients or get your clients results, right, really, really works. So then I can use that in my marketing saying, hey, we've just found an offer that helps insurance companies land, let's say, $10 million companies, okay? Do you mind if I send it over to you? That could be another angle they use in your marketing, right? Or it could be that you know that you can actually, you help the client go from, let's say, 0 to 100K per month, but your offer says we can help you get 50K per month. So you can go and change your offer to that 100K per month. So you're always using kind of the results and the market feedback as a flywheel effect, okay? And this also works, again, in a sub-level. So for example, if you send an outreach and you know a lot of people are not responded, you can look in the inbox and see what types of response you're getting. Let's say people say, hey, can't believe it, don't believe this, or seems too good to be true. You realize that you're maybe overpromising, right? Or perhaps you can lower the claim to make it look more believable, right? Or when people say, oh, nothing looks unique, perhaps you need to add a mechanism so your offer sounds unique to the market, okay? Or perhaps you're not getting any responses at all. This could even incline to say, hey, am I actually targeting the right people? Am I using the right platform? And then I can adjust that accordingly. So you always want to be having and tracking data, both quantitatively, meaning the actual numbers, and qualitatively, meaning the actual, like the type of data that you're getting, like the type of responses, right? Because what I do, which is a big hack. So at the end of the week, and I actually want to say this, at the end of the week, every Saturday I do something called like a level 10. So what I do is I track every single thing in the business, right? I track the how many where the clients are in terms of the progress. I track the setters, how they're doing in terms of the meeting book rate, positive reply rate. I track the sales conversion rate. I track how many offers we've done. I track absolutely everything, and I put this in what you call a scorecard, which is a single sheet that has all my data, all the business data. And then every day, or every week on Saturday, I look and I make calculated decisions based off the data. For example, let's say your sellers, or let's say a lead list that we put is very good, right? We know from that lead list that we put into the system, we got so many clients. I'll be looking like, what about this lead list made it so good? Was it the type of businesses? Was how long they were in business? Was it the location that they were? And how can I adjust it moving forward so we're constantly targeting as much of them type of clients? Because we know that also affects the closing rate, right? So looking at data like that helps you adjust your whole system, adjust essentially the inputs into the system so you can have better results moving forward. So you really want to be that granular. It could be, hey, let's say with the setters, we changed the script. And this week we changed the script. And because of that, we've doubled our positive reply rate. So we get double the leads come into the business. I'm going to be like, okay, let's keep the script running and let's just buy more accounts and just scale like that. However, people are not tracking the data accurately. And that's the thing that really saddens me, especially when I speak to business owners. Like if I'm having a conversation with you and I ask you, hey, like what's your positive reply rate? Or what's your meeting book rate? Or how much is it cost per appointment if you're running an ad? And you can't give me a number. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't be that mindless of data that you don't even track it. It's literally your lifeblood. So I urge you to be data driven, right? Ask yourself, where's the data and how can I get the data from business, right? Because the data, if not, is the most important thing. And it's so important that when I have the coaching calls with the clients, if someone comes up to the call without any data, I just say, no, we can't help you. We can't help you. Unless it's like a generic question, right? But when it comes to outreach specifically, if you don't have data, I am not going to help you because I can't base my decisions off your feelings because feelings are like this, right? But data is just straight to the point, the actual truth, okay? So that's one. And now the last thing here is delegate non-ROI tasks and leverage automation, okay? Now, what I've come into here is that a lot of people, once you're starting out, especially when you're a one-man show, you want to leverage as much automation as possible, right? To get your output as big, the level of inputs and the outputs you get as big as possible. For example, let's say it's just you and you are running, let's say DMs, let's say Instagram accounts, okay? Now, what you can do is you can run one account for yourself, or you can then buy 10 accounts and run 10 accounts, right? You're still going to be doing way more volume, right? But that gives you more leverage in terms of how many people you can actually reach. Another way that you can do is you can link all these accounts to a automation software. And this automation software sends the DMs on your behalf. So now you only have to wake up and spend an hour a day just replying to the positive replies. Okay, so that's how you can use automation in your everyday life, especially when it comes to setting appointment setting and things like that, to basically add leverage, right? Create leverage for yourself. So you have more output than input. Okay, and that's what I see a lot of people doing, especially if you're one-man show. You want to be using automation as much as possible, right? Not to an extent that it makes everything automated and there's no personalization. Yes, there's nice ways you can get around that, but to an extent that actually increases the amount of input/output that you're getting from the system, right? So look at ways and things of what you're doing and see how can I automate this, or perhaps sometimes how can I remove this. A lot of times of big growth in my life has came when I've just removed things from my life, right? And a lot of people don't understand that. Everyone thinks like always about adding things. I think of the opposite. I'm like, what can I remove? Less is more. Like, what can I remove so I can focus on things that actually matter, right? So remove any non-ROI task and use automation. And I wanted to talk about, especially as you're going through it, I want to go through just level. So I'm going to make a video on this specifically, but I wanted to add into this video is how I went from actually removing myself out of the business, because this kind of goes along removing the non-ROI task. So around that 0 to like, let's say 5K per month, the best thing that you can do, and it helped me as well, is hiring a personal / executive assistant. Now, this executive assistant will do everything in terms of admin, setting up your calendar, speaking to people, replying to people in terms of resetting like appointments for yourself in terms of, let's say, work appointments, family appointments. So this literally makes you feel a bit free. Now, Dan Martell, if you don't know, he's a kind of serial entrepreneur. He talks about this in his book called Buy Back Your Time, right? And in this book, it's such a great read. 100% you guys, 100% recommend you guys read it. It just says about just having a personal assistant that takes care of everything else, right? Someone that actually is there as like a executive personal assistant. And once I brought that into my business, it just allowed me to like, whoa, like I could just message someone and things will get done, and it would just so alleviate it. It just like put a burden on my back. And a lot of you guys need this because you're doing things like let's say you're doing lead sourcing or lead scraping. Like you don't need to be doing that. Like there's people that will do that, right? For like $3 an hour, and you can just pay them to do that. You don't have to do that, right? And once you start firstly make your first money, a lot of people just hold on to that money straight away. And yes, you have to survive and everything, but spending like even if you get someone part-time, honestly, right, for $150, just spend that money and you'll get so much time back and so much attention back. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not only about the time, it's about the attention that's taken away from you. Right? Have you ever had something like, have you ever had like something bad going on in your life? And it's like in your mind, or maybe you have like an argument with like your bloody girlfriend or something, right? And it's on your mind all day. And you're just like thinking like this, like, bruh, it's always on my bloody mind, right? And you're trying to focus, you're trying to work, and it's on your mind. That's the thing, just understanding your bandwidth and your attention bandwidth, right? And you want to remove as much as unnecessary attention bandwidth so you can focus on the main thing, which is signing clients and booking appointments. Okay, so look at your life and just look at your life, look at your business, and just say, okay, what things can I remove and what things can a personal assistant do? Like booking your haircut, right? Ordering your groceries, replying to clients, setting up clients, doing lead sourcing. One person can do all of that stuff and take care of that for you part-time. I promise you. Okay, so get a personal assistant 100% when you're around 0 to 5K. Now, once you start getting to like that 5 to 10K, what helped me at this point was getting an appointment setup. Right? And an appointment setup, what they would do is just book your appointments each and every single day. And this was good because it allowed me to get consistent flow of appointments without my time being involved in the whole process. So I would just wake up and I have appointments on my calendar, appointments on my calendar, appointments on my calendar, right? And this was so nice because it just allowed the business to have consistency of clients coming in. And now you have consistent clients coming in, you learn how to sell. After you start getting more clients in, the next thing that helped me was like customer success or like an account manager, right? Now, this again, this account manager is it takes care of the clients, but also does the client communication, right? So you're still going to be a bit involved, but they do the main client communication, like the client reporting, the let's say if you're doing outbound, the scripts, everything like that, the copywriting. That account manager does it for you and helps you with handling the accounts. But in order for them to do so, you need to make sure your SOPs are dialed in so they have something to follow. And that allows you to get out of the delivery, right? Because now your time is going to be focused on sales, half delivery. So you want to get out of delivery or you want to get out of sales, the ones you kind of hate the most. But I would recommend you stay in sales because you want the business to make money. So get out of delivery. Now, once you're out of delivery, what you can do is hire more appointment setters because you have more space in your calendar. So you want to hire more appointment setters so you can start filling up that space on your calendar and be fully booked out of sales calls. And at the point that you fully booked out sales calls, then you want to hire a sales rep. And what that sales rep will do is start taking the sales calls, and then you want to limit the amount of sales calls you take on your calendar. So now you have more attention. So you're working from, let's say, 12 hours per day to, let's say, 7 hours per day, 6 hours per day, because the sales rep is taking all the other calls, right? And then you can just repeat the process. Just get more appointment setters, get a sales rep, and then move yourself out of the sales and the delivery. Right? And as you get more clients, then you can get more account managers. Okay. So I wanted to say this because I wanted to give you kind of an insight on how it looks like getting yourself out of the agency. Because a lot of people always talk about want to work on the business rather than in the business, but you want to make sure you have the right people, the right systems in place so that allows you to give that freedom of time and location. Okay. So don't be afraid of buying back your time when it comes to that. Every dollar that you make, you can spend it unless you're going on a trip, things like that, or you can put it back into the business in terms of getting your time back. Right? So you can actually enjoy your life day to day, right? And you can focus on things in the business that you actually want to focus on. Because me, I love marketing, right? I love writing new scripts. I love copywriting. I love strategy. I love sales calls sometimes, depending on my mood, right? But having them systems in place allows you to wake up and work in the area of the business where you feel most called at. And that's, if not the most refreshing part, because you wake up and it doesn't even feel like work. And that's when you can start getting some crazy results in your business. Okay, so that's the mentioning the 4 parts. So just to do a recap, the first thing is just focus. Make sure you focus on one thing, one niche, and just one business. Then volume negates luck. Make sure you're doing 10 times more than every single person out there. Okay, then create flow and add friction. So make sure you get clients in and then start adding friction. And last and fourthly, use market feedback and to change your offer and your delivery from all the feedback you're getting. And last thing is remove any ROI tasks, start buying your time back as you get to that 50K per month. Okay, so that's essentially it. Now, if you need help going through your whole journey and adding the 50K per month, or you want to implement any of this into your agency, there's a link below for us to have a chat. It's a no pressure call, and the link is there. But aside from that, I appreciate if you subscribe, and share this. It's going to show you more videos like this in your feed. But yeah, that's it from me, Josiah, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.